Kia ora and hello. How can two-pointing help with the current situation worldwide with this pandemic? That's a question I have been asked many times, and I just would like to give a brief answer and a little bit of two-pointing here in this very short video. I assume most of you have had a rather interesting, we also can call it challenging and exhausting year. It certainly has been very, very interesting, because I don't think anybody of us would have expected, how the world can be turned upside down by a little virus. Nevertheless, a lot of us have also used this time to really go inward and to re-evaluate our lives and see what's really important, what is working and what is not working. And if we focus on that, on some of the positive aspects of this, then we can see kind of a silver lining on the otherwise rather, quite an upheaval kind of a year. So how can two-pointing help with that? Two-pointing works, as we always know, on energy fields, on patterns. It works on us personally, it works when we work with other people, but we can also use this tool or this method to transform any patterns that are in our community, our country, or even worldwide. And including this would be the pandemic. So I have been doing this for quite a few months now, and invite you, especially since we are getting to the end of this year, and next year is also going to be challenging for a lot of people. And I invite you to two-point on this pattern of upheaval, of fear, of uncertainty, and all the emotions that are arising within us that brings this pandemic forward. So how do I do this? Well, depending on whether I work on myself, if I work on myself, I would just focus at the moment on something within this pandemic that makes me really uncomfortable, or that I really don't like, or that caused me to lose my job, or any of those things. And as always, then use one of my hands to connect with my either my heart center, or put my hand there. And then I would for example, say, are there any emotions related to this particular topic? Because I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be necessarily underlying beliefs, because nobody created that really. So I would ask, are there any emotions related to this topic? Provided that you went through the whole process of starting it and going into your heart center and transforming my personal emotional blockages or my fears, my uncertainties with this. I would then, after I transformed the blockages, I would then integrate that I find the necessary messages for this year, or the solutions that will help me get out of my personal predicament. So if I lost a job, that I get the necessary resources to find a new one, and hopefully an even better one. Maybe one that completely is out of what I've done before. So that's what I would do on a personal level. But I want to talk to you about this whole community or country or worldwide pattern, because every country is affected. It's not just us, wherever we are living, it's the whole world. And that makes this so incredibly unique, this whole scenario. And the virus itself doesn't stop whether it is rich, poor, ethnicity. It affects everyone. And yes, I am aware that there are restrictions around that lots of people are really upset about, and that lots of people are talking about the government infringing on their personal rights. I'm not going into that discussion here because that's not the kind of work I like to do. For me, again, everything is light and information, and everything is energy. And all I would like is that the energy flows. I'm not saying how I would like the story to play out. I'm just saying I would like the energy blocks that we are having worldwide to be released so that the energy can flow again. And when I do this, whether you still use your hands or not, I have this one hand representing the world or my community or my country, whatever you prefer, as the so-called problem in this pandemic. And then I'm asking for solutions in regards to that pandemic. And I work through this whole thing as if I would be working on my own personal blockages, but this time I'm working on a field and on a pattern. Integrating in this regard is real fun because I love to then integrate for lots of new inventions to come forward and for communities and neighbors coming closer together again, because the centuries of history have always shown the worst situations, whether it's war, pandemics, hunger, etc., is usually bringing people also closer together. And maybe that's one of the biggest learning curves, especially for the Western society in this pandemic, is that we have been focusing a lot just on being distracted by technology and by the internet and by not even communicating directly with each other anymore. I'm just thinking about my job here that I had the last 3 years in a hotel, when people are going on holiday together, and they go and sit in this most beautiful environment, and all they do is sitting there and being on their smartphones. But that's aside, everybody can do what they like. I'm aware of that too. So once again, either you work on yourself or you work on the pattern that involves your community where you're living, or the country you're living in, or a bigger region, or the whole world. And this one side is the so-called problem, and the other one is the solution. And I would encourage everybody who knows this technique, or for that matter, any other technique, to point or use whatever tool you prefer to transform more of this worry, that fear, that heaviness, the aspects that are limiting people at the moment, and then integrating the solutions which are there, which some of us might not be able to see yet, and so that the positive aspects of this are being brought forward, and we can start the next year with, again, renewed energy and more hope, and coming closer together as a community. If you are personally interested in doing just that for you personally, going into 2021 and reignite your own life for this next year to be a better year for you, and better for your life, for your family, for your community, and also for the world, then I have a really exciting program put together. I am limited now with doing workshops because traveling is really not my cup of tea at the moment. So therefore I used this year and created an online group workshop experience that I've never done before, and I'm launching this early January, and next week, 7th of December, I have a free webinar where I will be talking about how we can move from fear to being fearless, and also launching my new program. And so if you are wanting to really make 2021 a really awesome year for you, and have any project that you would like to start, whether it is writing a book or moving from one place to another, or even moving into another country, or having to go to and have a new job, finding new opportunities, anything that requires courage and confidence, then I invite you to just come to my webinar and have a little listen. I will be talking about the program, and maybe even join me. I would love for you to be a part of that special group. So for now, I wish you, wherever you are, love and light and lots of blessings. And I really hope that you find yourself in a position to become more aware of what's going on, and focus more on your inner strength and on your health and your family and your friends for this year and the next years to come. For now, I'm saying love and light and blessings and joyful smiles to you. Bye for now.